Good afternoon and welcome to Wednesday's show. I'm your host Jesse Jackson Kauraitha. In today's show, we will zoom in on the big topics of the day as well as bring to you a sports star that has been the eyes of para-athletes. The Sport Rep Show also unpacks the latest international news. Sit back, relax and enjoy the show. And now for your latest on the hit list. Namibia football. Namibia football national team has been drawn in Group C with Cameroon, Kenya, Burundi for the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. The 2023 Africa Cup of Nations will be played in Côte d'Ivoire next year. Namibia last competed at the prestigious African Showcase in 2019 during a time of Ricardo Mannetti. He was at the helm that time. It has taken at least 10 years before the country made an appearance at the showpiece. Cameroon will be favored to advance top out of Group C, while Namibia, Burundi and Kenya will all fancy their chances of finishing in second place. Well, former Brave Warriors player Ricardo Goraseb will join us later to zoom in on the Brave Warriors' chances. Namibia's long-distance runner David Dam returned to Namibia yesterday after completing his last training sessions in South Africa. Dam, who competed in several 1,500 meter and 800 meter events in South Africa, which saw him clocking impressive times, will now shift focus to big continental races in Botswana. His manager Bethel Karumendu is confident that it is just a matter of time before Dam becomes stiffer competition to the rest of the world. The Namibia Rugby Sevens team will be competing in the Africa Men's Sevens in Kampala, Uganda. The team yesterday officially received its national colors ahead of the tournament in Uganda. The country's first match will be up against Ghana, that's on Saturday. Team captain Ulrich Moton spoke to our reporter Andrew Pullman about their preparations.
Right, so with us we have Ulrich Moton, captain of the Namibia Sevens team on the way to the African Championships in Kampala. So Ulrich, how do you feel about the team that was selected and your preparation?
Well, we had some trials and most of the players were chosen from trials due to their performance. In regards with our preparation, it has been good. We've been busy two and a half weeks now, training Monday, Tuesday and Wednesdays. So far, I'm satisfied with the guys, the attitude, the way they come to the field, they bring the positive vibe, they bring the game faces basically. So I'd say we have a pretty good, strong team this time to qualify. Just minor details that need to be touched on, but it will be done during the course of the week. But I think we're strong enough to qualify this round.
Okay, so you're one of the guys that has previous experience in the Namibia Sevens team. So obviously all the big guns in African Sevens that will be there. How do you feel about your chances?
I represented Namibia in the Tunisia qualifiers 2018. Well, our competitors they know their business, namely Zimbabwe, Kenya, Madagascar, and yeah, those were the guys that we played then, and they were pretty good. Zambia also, but I think we have a good chance this time to qualify.
All right.
Up next will be Zoom In, but before that we go for a short break. Well, he has played in a qualifier before and knows what it takes to be at AFCON. Former Brave Warriors player Silvester Goraseb is here to discuss about Brave Warriors' chances in Group C of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Enjoy. Well, Lolito, it's an important one. You saw the draw. Brave Warriors in a very, wouldn't say tough group, but it's always never easy as well. But I mean, as a person that has played this kind of qualifiers before, that has played in this tournaments before, what do you think of our chances as Brave Warriors going into this one?
I was very excited when I saw the draw. First of all, Kenya and Burundi in our group. But I have to be honest, Cameroon, from the form that we have seen in the African Nations Cup in Cameroon this year, and they've also qualified for the World Cup later this year in Qatar. I believe Cameroon are the favorites for Group C. But Namibia stands a very good chance to qualify for the African Nations Cup in Ivory Coast come 2023. Why I'm saying that? Because we have a very great record, head-on-head record against Kenya, because we have played Kenya 6 times. We've beaten them 4 times, we've only lost twice. We have also a very good record against Burundi. We played them twice, home and away. We beat them in Burundi, they also came to beat us in Namibia. So, from that stats, I would believe that Namibia stands a very good chance, the Brave Warriors, to qualify, especially if we can get good results against two nations from East Africa.
Yes, it says, currently I'm sure the bookmakers will not favor us due to the fact that we do not have an active football league in Namibia at the moment. But, Namibia has qualified before with that. But with the current situation, do you think that will play any role in this one?
I mean, the experience is that the last time we qualified for the African Nations Cup, we also did not have an active league. So, and what the technical team did was very good, to have a bulk and a basis for a team, which they prepared long way ahead, for the qualifying matches. And that's what I'm expecting now. My advice would be that we first of all appoint a technical committee or advisory consisting of former national team coaches like Ruston Mogane, Max Johnson and Brian Isaacs, which will assist the technical team. And I'm also advising and appealing that we can also appoint a strong technical team consisting of Samaria, Ricardo Mannetti, Ronnie Kanalelo, Robert Nosep. I mean, we can see Mamelodi Sundowns. They have 3 top coaches and they cooperate. I mean, we must put our differences aside, and if we can really have this strong technical team supported by a support staff of fitness coaches and also psychosocial experts, and we can organize good campings to prepare the team, call up the local base players and prepare them way in advance. That's what I'm really advising and appealing to the leaders in football.
You spoke of technical teams and all that, and it's quite a valid point there. Wonderful point you are making. One of the things that one would also ask is that the players that we have currently, I'm sure most of these players are the ones that played in the last qualifier, some of them that played in the last AFCON tournament as well. So there's not much of a crop that would be changed that much, and as you can see, some of these players are actually also doing well in their domestic where they play currently, where they play their traits, like in South Africa, Botswana and all. Do you think that this will count in the favor of the team as far as going into this qualifiers is concerned? I mean, we have the top scorer of the South African Premier League.
Absolutely. I think if you look at Peter Shaluli, the performance, he's the best in the South African Premier League at the moment. And I think in Africa and the world, one of the best strikers currently. And we have also a good crop like Dion Hotto, Kazapua in South Africa, they're doing good. If you look at Wendell in Botswana. So in terms of foreign-based players, I think we have a good crop. And what we need to do is to organize and get the local based players, because most of them who are now local, they've also played abroad. Like if you look at Awilo Stefanes, Benson, and all these players. They are here and they are training on their own, which is a very good point for Namibia. If we can organize these players who are here in locally and combine them with our foreign-based players, I think we still have a very strong team which can compete in these qualifiers.
Okay. One of the things, I'm sure you have played in some of these countries, and it's always hostility. So what do we expect in this competition again?
Yeah, of course. First of all, the last time we played Kenya, I remember when I played, we went to beat them in Nairobi. So it's not impossible. And also when we played them here, we drew 1-1. Burundi, as I said, the records are very good. But in terms of the conditions that we expect, it will be very tough. Because, you know, the conditions are different from Southern Africa. And each and every country that has been part of this group C, they want to qualify. And they will go out all the way to make sure that they make things very difficult for us when we go and play in Burundi and Kenya, as well as in Cameroon. So we need to prepare our team mentally, physically, you know, psychologically to know. But as I said, the players that we have now, they at least have experience of playing in World Cup, in African Nations Cup qualifiers already. And they are also well-traveled, well-exposed. So we only need to organize the technical team and also mobilize resources and political will to support the team.
Thank you so much, Lolito. That was Lolo Silvester Goraseb. The Game Changers is on the other side of the break. Sam Shimanda has been a guide for too long and still continues to thrive for better performances from para-athletes. Shimanda, who has guided star athletes like Ananias Shikongo, Lahya Shitile, remains passionate about serving for visually impaired athletes. He says the fun part of it is that the athletes have built a wonderful relationship which is based on trust. Shimanda recently got 150,000 from Nampower for guiding Ananias Shikongo to a 400-meter victory at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. He says that he will continue providing the best of guidance and assistance to the athletes as long as he is able to. He is a former 400-meter specialist himself and still continues to run and race in those races, but probably has devoted his life to Paralympic athletes. Well, Ario Ogat is on standby for international news after the break.
Good day everyone, time for international sport and soccer news first, and it is English Premier League that continued. A big game that was played, and it's Manchester United that played against Liverpool. That game was played at Anfield, the home field of Liverpool, and it's Liverpool that dominated. They won the game by 4-0. So it's a big result for Liverpool. That means that they up into first place at the moment on the log. They played one game more than Manchester City. So at the moment it is Liverpool 76 points after 32 games and 74 points after 31 games. That is for Manchester City. So the next game for Manchester City, it's going to be a home game against Brighton. So in all probability, they will overtake Liverpool again for a 1-point lead. Just a few games left in the league for the teams. 5 games each for Liverpool and Manchester United, or 5 for Liverpool, 6 for Manchester City, and it's getting closer to the end of the season. There's also a fight for the top 4 positions on the English Premier League. That's of course to qualify for the Champions League. That is quite lucrative. The best clubs in Europe that play in that Champions League, and at the moment it is Chelsea and Arsenal also battling out for that. Chelsea in 3rd place at the moment. They've got 62 points after 30 games, and then Arsenal, they are in 5th position, 31 games, 54 points, and the 2 of them play the next game. That is Chelsea against Arsenal, and then also Tottenham Hotspur is in 4th position, and their next game will be against Brentford. That is an away game for Tottenham Hotspur. On to some tennis news, and a big decision that was made for Wimbledon organisers, and that was in conjunction with the British government. And the decision made by Wimbledon is that they will ban Russian and Belarus players for Wimbledon coming up in July. The tournament starts the 10th of July and finishes the 27th of July. So the decision is no Belarus or Russian players allowed to play. That's because of the conflict, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. And also some of the players I can mention that's not going to be able to play, some high-profile players. Number 2 in the world at the moment, Daniil Medvedev, he's from Russia, so he won't be able to play. Then in the women's draw, it will be number 4 in the world, that is Aryna Sabalenka of Belarus, and also Victoria Azarenka, also of Belarus. They all won't be able to play Wimbledon this year. That's going to be played, like I said, starting the 10th of July in London. Then also some Formula 1 racing news, and it is the next Formula 1 racing event that's taking place this coming weekend, and news from Red Bull, and that is Red Bull Honda, that say that they have the problems with the fuel system sorted out, and that resulted in Max Verstappen in the 1st and 3rd races of the season he had to pull out of the Formula 1 races. And the next Formula 1 racing calendar, the next race will be this Sunday. It is the Emilio Romagna Grand Prix, and that will be at the Imola, the track in Italy. And now for tennis news on international sport, and two tournaments being played at the moment, one on the men's ATP Tour and the WTA Women's Tour as well is being played. The Barcelona Open is being played on the men's tour, and news from the tournament is that number 2 seed Casper Ruud, he beat Brendan Nakashima of the United States of America. He beat him 6-3 and 6-2 to be through to the next round. That is Casper Ruud, and he is of Norway. And Stefanos Tsitsipas, the number 1 seed, he's also he's yet to play. He's got a bye in the first round, and he will play in the round of 32. On the ladies ATP Tour, it is the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix that's taking place in Stuttgart. That's also on clay. And the news there is Daria Kasatkina. She's from unattached because she's from Russia, and she beat Coco Gauff in the first round by 6-2 and 6-2. Quite a comprehensive win for her. And the number 1 seed, Iga Swiatek, she's also in the tournament, the world number 1 from Poland, and she will play Eva Lisch from Germany in the first round of that tournament. And now to conclude, some cycling news. It is the Tour de Alps that's taking place. It was stage 3 that took place, or stage 2 that took place, and that is Pello Bilbao of Spain that won the second stage in a time of 3 hours, 56 minutes and 4 seconds. He was just in front of Romain Bardet of France in second place, and Attila Valter, he took the 3rd position. The next stage, stage 3, will be over 154 kilometers, and there's going to be 3 climbs in that. So that is the sports news, international sports news for now. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk again tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you so much, Ari. We will start with, well, the local news that the Brave Warriors will actually be playing, that is Burundi, Kenya, as well as Cameroon. Those are very, very important fixtures, although that the dates have not been released yet. It is going to be very, very important for Namibia to qualify, that's to the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Remember that Namibia only qualified, that's to the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, and before that it took 10 years for the team to qualify. As things stand, it remains to be known whether the team still has a coach. We know that the last coach was Bobby Samaria. At the moment, the Namibia Football Association is actually under the normalization committee. Well, Franco Cosmos, Secretary General, is still there at the NFA, and could be able to know who the next coach or the current coach will be. We hope that it is going to be clearer to the public in days to come as to who will take the team, that's to the qualifiers. Lolo Goraseb, on the other hand, already mentioned that he hopes that the technical team will consist of some of the former players, including some of the former coaches. He linked this situation to the Mamelodi Sundowns situation, where they have 3 top coaches. He believes that Namibia, with 3 top coaches, the likes of Ricardo Mannetti, Bobby Samaria, and Ronnie Kanalelo, will be able to probably pull off something to qualify, that's for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, which will be held, that's in the Ivory Coast. The games will be fast and coming, and knowing that it is a very short period of time due to the coronavirus pandemic. Moving on to the international news, from my observations, last night was a clear indication that Manchester United has fallen down the pecking order, and the situation at the club is dire there. Well, Liverpool proved that they are probably one of the best teams that's in Europe at the moment, if not in the world, with some of their players that, like the likes of, that is Gordon Henderson, as well as the Brazilian himself in the midfield, who was pulling the strings yesterday. It was indeed a very, very special performance from the Liverpool players, and their fans were actually happy. It didn't sit well with many Manchester United pundits who believe that the team players are not playing with the courage and with the character to be Man United players. They say that they are actually not respecting the badge as it should. Well, one special moment in that game was that the fans actually took time, that's to clap hands and have a moment for Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7, who lost his baby boy recently. He was unable to play, but it was indeed a very, very well played team spirit, fan spirit, football spirit, you can name it all. Among some of the few things was Peter Drury in yesterday's action, who said Man United were being shredded into pieces, and it was indeed into pieces. Well, tonight there is a big one as well, that is the likes of Chelsea that will be playing, that is Arsenal. Remember that Arsenal is also chasing for the top 4, so it is indeed a very, very important one there to watch, knowing that Manchester United had a slip up last night, and Tottenham Hotspurs are not also a very, very consistent team there. So it is indeed bound to be a very, very great night of football. Remember that Chelsea are coming over back of a victory where they beat, that is they beat Burnley to go to qualify into the FA Cup final as well. They have a date set up with, that is Liverpool, for the FA Cup final, as well as some Champions League action that will also be coming up. So it is indeed set to be a very, very brilliant spectacle. Not to forget that here in Namibia, we have some cricket games that will be coming live. Namibia Media Holdings will indeed broadcast some of these cricket games live, as well as the NSSU sports games that will also be broadcasted live by the Namibia Media Holdings, courtesy of their Facebook pages, and that is as well as NTV and GoTV, that will also be live. Well, that is all we had for you today from the Sport Rep crew. Catch us again live tomorrow at the same time, same place. Goodbye.